My dad was in a car accident when we were younger and had to take a lot of also relaxers, and he was a cranky SOB, and we actually called them, my dad's like cranky pills, because he was just angry when he'd have to take them. So I used to tag along to his appointments to do traditional Chinese acupuncture, and then I would go to his massage. Oh, that's cool. So by the time I was in grade 6, I have a paper, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I was like, massage therapist. Obviously massage therapy is muscles. I did work for a chiropractor for 7 years, and I saw the same thing. You get so far and then never progress. So I just feel like this is where one kind of technique stops and the other one starts. There's this huge gap, and I really truly believe that that's where adhesion release is, that gap between one modality and the other that nobody has really strung together. My name is Alisha Griffiths. I am a registered massage therapist from Nova Scotia, Canada, and I would be considered as a deep tissue therapist. Unoya Health and Wellness. I love Instagram. So I actually saw Dr. Chris on Instagram, and I just kind of kept seeing him come up in my feed, and I was like, I need that in my life. I want to do what he's doing. And my husband was like, reach out to him. And I'm like, I feel like that's weird. But I did. And he got back to me and I was like, I'm doing it. It's awesome. I have lots of sports injuries and some overuse injuries. I played volleyball for years and years. And then in my adult life, I decided that I was going to get into some strongman competitions where I really started overusing my upper body. I have literally seen every doctor that you can. I've worked for a chiropractor, so I was getting adjusted like 2 or 3 times a week. Acupuncture, massage therapy, physio. In my practice, I can get people so far, but it just seems like they're coming back with the same thing over and over again. So I knew that there was a piece that I was missing, and especially when you know that those people are seeing you and they're seeing the chiro, and technically those are all the pieces to the puzzle, but they're still not feeling any better. They're just filling their days with appointments and just kind of living a mundane life. So when I watched him on Instagram, I just really felt like he was getting results that I wanted. With some of my clients that have been with me for a long time, and I know that trust me, and I can kind of give them some feedback. And I was getting like good results. Like I was kind of getting them a little bit further, but that's when I knew that, okay, before I start making some really bad habits, and I think I know what I'm doing, let me go and really find out what I'm doing. And I also didn't realize that people are coming back and back and back. And then I sit in the room and I'm like, yeah, no, you do need to come back and back and back and back. My heart says, as much as I do love treating people, I would like to go to full adhesion release because I can see more people. Now that I have a little bit more of technique, I know that I'm not going to burn my body out as much as having my hands on people for an hour. And I feel in my gut that that's the way I need to move to help more people.
Can you talk a little bit about shadowing Chris on Friday?
Oh, I actually learned so much. Like when I went back to my hotel, I was like, oh, like there's a huge importance to following the principles. And I don't know if I'm like the norm, but when you go through the principles and you want to try the things, you kind of are like, whatever, special tests, and I just want to try the technique. And then watching him walk in every time with every person following the exact same principles, it clicked and was like, that is what I need in my office. It was a part that I was missing. Like I was testing and then treating, but I never went back and retested. And I don't know why, but it was a huge like, oh, I get that moment for me. So I did have a lot of takeaways just from shadowing for a few hours. And everybody loves him. He is just so genuine, and it's lighthearted, and it's a wonderful environment here. Online is online, and it's wonderful, and it gets your foot in the door. And when I signed up, they asked, like, do you want online? Do you want one online and Accelerator? And I was like, yeah, like I would like to come down. It's an investment for me to come down from Canada. It's not even the same to have people, the doctors place their hands over ours and say, this is depth. It's like, oh, I am not doing that at all. So that's good. Yeah, it was really helpful. I was super nervous. Like for the week before, I was like, I'm gonna know nothing and it's gonna be terrible, and I've gone through all the modules and I still don't know anything. And you walk into a room that's just full of like-minded people and it raises you up, and it was a really positive environment, and you just felt extremely supported, so that when you do go back to work the next day or the day after, you feel elevated and enlightened and excited to go back. There's lots of people in practitioner roles that I don't truly believe that they care for people, but they thought it was a good way to go because they were making all kinds of money. But then it was hard work, so they're just kind of stumbling through life at that point. So they actually have to genuinely care for people. They have to be a go-getter. They have to be the person who always pushes for more in their practice, and I truly believe that that is, especially where I come from, really hard to find. And they need to be willing to learn and genuinely care for people. I would like to grow and see more people, and I have a couple clients that it's really important for me to help, and I feel like this is their answer. So they're going to be my first on my list to just be like, we're doing this and we're getting you through. We live close to a military base, so I have a lot of retired vets that just coming, one in particular will say like, I look forward to seeing you weekly because this is what keeps me above the ground. But I know that I'm not even touching anything that he's feeling. And he goes to doctors and he has ketamine treatments and nothing, but there's nothing wrong, right? So he'll be my first one on my list. I see him first thing tomorrow morning.